Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Mishal Saeed, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're absolutely thrilled to have Elena Donskaya, the CEO and founder of Elena Visionary, joining us. Elena is a feminine energy coach and mentor who empowers high-achieving women to heal from heartbreak, reconnect with their true essence, and embody their magnetic power through transformative coaching, masterclasses, and retreats. We'll explore her inspiring journey from burnout to building a purpose-driven coaching business, how Elena Visionary is transforming lives, and really her vision for scaling the impact she's creating. So let's dive in. Elena, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited for this interview.
Absolute pleasure having you on today. Let's dive in. Take us back to the beginning. What specific problem in the personal growth or the coaching landscape, perhaps around burnout or disconnection from feminine energy, inspired you to actually start Elena Visionary?
Yeah, it's a great question. So my background, I actually started my career on Wall Street. I spent almost 20 years on Wall Street. So everything that I teach is really from an embodiment of what I went through myself personally. So I have bachelor's in finance, MBA in marketing. I worked for Goldman Sachs for almost 19 years. I was this high achiever climbing the corporate ladder. And by the age of 30, I checked the boxes on all the things. I was a mother of two. I was a VP of finance. I was married. Like I've done all the things, but inside, I had this nagging feeling that something is missing, that I forgot something, there's something more to life. And I went through a spiritual awakening. Actually, right on Wall Street, we had Deepak Chopra come into our corporate office to speak about enlightened leadership. What does it mean to be an enlightened leader? And I had such an activation from that conversation, and it started my journey. I was always spiritually curious through from my teenage years. This really gave me was a catalyst event of sort that I went on a journey to rediscover myself, because I had this meditative experience with Deepak Chopra. And from that experience, I felt this vastness, this bliss. There's something I connected with, I know now, with my essence, what I call my soul. So I reconnected with this part of me that I was missing and longing for pretty much all my life. And when I met her, I was just blown away. And I said, I came to my husband that night. I said, something have happened to me today. I'll never be the same. I want to be in that elevated bliss state more and more throughout the day. I want to rediscover what it is and how to really anchor that in and really spend my life where I feel fulfilled, when I feel happy, when I feel joyful. Because being on Wall Street and working in that environment, and I love my company and all of that, but being in an environment where you're constantly in a hustling mode, achieving, doing, competing, proving, that energy is great to a certain time in a woman's life, but then it becomes, oh, I'm feeling a burnout. I'm disconnected from my body. It impacts your relationships. It's just really, and I feel like there's a lot of women right now. This is the gap that I'm trying to close with women, is that know what it's like to be a successful woman in this three-dimensional world, succeed, but there's something inside that is missing. So I went on this journey for myself, first and foremost. Never that I thought that I'll become a coach. I didn't even know that was my purpose, that I would be now helping women to go through transitions of sorts, whether it's a breakup, whether it's career change. And I know there's a lot of people right now searching for more meat, searching what else they can do, and they're founding their own businesses. There's a lot of creative visionaries that I attracted to my world. And going through this journey myself, by going through spiritual healing, working with top coaches, mentors, traveling all over the world to sacred sites, and just really bringing pieces of myself back, I recreated myself. I really recreated myself. And then I left my corporate career to start this business and help other women to go through transitions and just feel more fulfilled in life outside of just having an external success.
That's incredible. Oh my gosh. I commend you for that. That's phenomenal. I think a lot of women, especially with family, marriage, kids, having a career like that, balancing all those different parts, you've really created a lot of that movement, right, around how it is okay to find other ways, find other outlets to be successful, maybe in the creative space. It doesn't necessarily have to be within the corporate domain. That's super powerful. So let's get into the nuts and bolts for the listeners and even potential clients of yours that may be tuning in. Walk us through really how you generate revenue today. What is your core offer? I know you do one-on-one coaching, you do have the master classes, there's the retreats. Primarily, how do you structure what you do for some of the clients that you work with?
Yeah. So initially when I left corporate world, I decided that I'm going to do retreats. I was really called to do retreats because it really complemented my skill set, meaning that like I am Wall Street meets Venus. I love this very like structural, organizational doing mode in me, like this masculine energy, and also the feminine, the flow, the magnetism, the beauty, the sensuality, like these type of things. So when I started to run retreats, I combined the two. Like I was able ran them solo. I was able to do all the logistic and organizational things. And I ran retreats in Tulum and I live in New York City. So I started to run retreats and then COVID happened. Okay, I cannot do travels anymore. I have to pivot. And this is when I pivoted online and I do one-on-one coaching. And this was more like word of mouth or through my Instagram. I started to attract clients. Women got called into my space. And then like this past year, and then I had some setbacks in my personal life with my mom passing away. And I took a break from my business.
Sorry to hear that.
I figured out that as I was grieving and I needed that time for me, and I actually went through another wave of my spiritual awakening in a death portal of sorts. And then I figured out I cannot, if I'm not in a business, the business does not exist because I'm the one who's really doing the thing, coach, marketing, sales pages, like all the things. And it's beautiful. And I love to be in all of it, like a solo entrepreneur. But I figured it gave me an example. Like if I need to take a break from my business, there's no money generating in a business. So the past year, I've been spending of scaling my business through various funnels. And I think a funnel is a very feminine thing to do because people think like funnel, like when there's a structure, my energy flows so beautifully. And this is what the coaches who think like, yes, we as feminine energy coaches, we have to stay in our magnetism. We have to stay in a high vibration because that's actually this is how we attract people into our world, A, and B, this is how we become great coaches to hold space for others, for what they're going through, grief, transitions, menopause. I'm in my mid-40s, right? Like the women are experiencing so many things in their 40s, mid-30, like I would say like mid-35 to 50s, like that time frame. There's a lot of things that are happening in women's world. So I decided like I need to have a system and process, a funnel in place where I can take people through a journey into my world. So you can enter my world from anywhere from $33 when you can have like a masterclass of sorts. And my audience, like I said, or my niche, my ideal clients are women going through various transitions in life. So that could be spiritual awakening, and usually spiritual awakening is like a catalyst, whether you're going through a breakup or divorce or something that happens in your relationship that women like, wait a minute, I spent time on this marriage, I spent time on being a mother, who am I outside of these identities? So when a woman goes through an identity shift of sorts, I can help her, right? So I have a master class that can help women get there. So it's Awaken, that's what it's called, Awaken. And I have an Awakened Woman program, like a bundle of all my programs. Also, I can help women with when they're single and trying to get into a relationship, like a sacred partnership, not just dating, not just like surface level advice, but really when they want to get into a relationship where they can grow together, when they can thrive together, when they can build a kingdom, a queendom together. So you can enter into my world somewhere around like $100, right? Just to take a master class. So this is how I track the cold traffic, like it's through entry-level masterclasses. I also have a quiz running on Pinterest, which does really well. I'm omnipresent now, as before I was only on Instagram. Right now, I am on Pinterest. I went back to LinkedIn because I had pretty good network of my corporate career on LinkedIn. So it came out of the spiritual closet on LinkedIn. It's like, here I am. This is what I help with. And people, I had such an amazing, I got messages from my former coworkers, from my managers. It was like, it was beautiful to come out on LinkedIn and start attracting clients through that platform. So basically what I'm trying to say, like I'm omnipresent on all social medias, sharing my message, sharing my voice, sharing my essence, my presence, my vibrations. And this is how I attract people. And then I also have an automated funnel that is running to attract people into my world. And then I call it like an ascension model, where they can go from
Mm,
anywhere from $30 to $20,000 to coach with
mm.
one-on-one.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. I was about to say more on the offer productization side because this always comes up as a topic on our show. What are
Yeah.
some of the ways, especially as you're a founder, you're probably doing a lot of the fulfillment as well. We've had guests on here running a fulfillment model like one-on-one coaching where they find that they can't be in all the rooms dealing with acquisition, dealing with sales, and then having to like fulfill clients. What are some of the ways you're looking at evolving your offer from a productization standpoint so that you can unlock that next phase of growth? Would love to get your thoughts on how you're navigating that right now as an entrepreneur as you're looking at scaling and growing your business.
Yeah, I'm definitely scaling and growing my business. And also I want to incorporate AI into my model because I feel like for anybody right now, it's very smart to like soul meets tech. Like
Yeah.
I know that ChatGPT or AI will never replace me. Like will
Mm,
never replace coaches that are heart-centered. Like
right.
our jobs are irreplaceable. For whoever's listening,
Yeah.
even if somebody goes into ChatGPT and trying to make it
Mm,
the therapist,
mhm,
ChatGPT, even if it can sound empathetic, like it
mm,
has emotional intelligence because it's able to synthesize everything that's been entered into the world of
mm,
World Wide Web by healers, coaches, mystics, ancient traditions, like all of it, right? It can sound like, oh my God, it's like a guru, but
yeah.
ChatGPT does not have a heart. It doesn't have access to your soul, Akashic records, whatnot.
Mm,
Coaches will always, they'll never be replaceable. We need coaches
mm,
as much as possible. 8 billion people
yeah.
right now need help that we can
Yeah.
provide. So I feel like extremely optimistic of where we're going in terms
Yeah.
of what I'm doing. And I'm sure like a lot of your audience is in that space. But it's very smart to use AI to help you. Like, for
Yeah.
example, when I started my business 6 years ago, I hired a copywriter, paid her $2,000 to write me a sales
Mm,
pitch and an email sequence.
mm,
It took her 2 weeks. I spent $2,000 and it wasn't even my voice. I couldn't even use it. Right
mm,
now, it takes me 10 seconds for ChatGPT to know who I am and write me a sales page, for example. So it's
right.
beautiful how we can incorporate AI into our work. Also,
Mm,
the way I help founders, people that are transitioning from corporate to entrepreneurship, people
mm,
that are really like seeking how they can help. Then yes, it's great to make money. We all need to have a material wealth because if we're here to share a message, especially for
right.
spiritual people, entrepreneurs, we need resources and money is a great resource. Right? We need that.
Mm,
But I think there is a need for all of us who are stepping into this world where we're doing something for collective, not just for personal transformation and personal gain,
mm,
but for the collective, meaning like helping humanity this big transition and for people to start awakening, healing, and coming into their own alignment with their soul, into all
yeah.
alignment with their higher self. So what I'm thinking of, I have a tool that I help people when they come into my space
Mm,
to identify what is their soul blueprint, what is there
mm,
for them to know, okay, this is what, and I use both my intuitive guidance, all the work that I've done for myself and my clients, and knowing what works to reprogram your subconscious
mm,
beliefs, your mindset, your energy, your emotions. And then I also use birthday information. So right now
mhm,
I'm actually building a tool through AI to help identify when people enter the information in terms of the
mm,
birthday and what they want to do in life. It can
mm,
create a beautiful soul blueprint,
mm,
seven-figure soul blueprint for them to help them
mm,
really identify, oh my God, yeah, I never thought about myself this way. Oh, my
right.
human design makes me be generator that has to
Mm,
listen to certain gut feelings when they do certain things.
mm,
Knowing that it gives you a great tool. So what I'm trying to say is that
mm,
I'm optimistic about AI coming on board when we can
mm,
use it in a smart way, not to give
yeah.
our power away to AI, but make it our
Yeah.
ally to build something incredible, substantial, like something that can really change and help people's lives. So
Mm,
I would encourage people to do that. And that like it doesn't cost much money right now. That and there's a challenge to get customers in your world because there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of people doing it
mm,
now, but I don't believe in competition. I believe that we
mm,
attract people based on our vibration, and as long as we stay true to our alignment and our hearts,
yeah.
we can do anything.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I love the fact that you're leveraging a lot of automations, a lot of like systemization when it comes to, from what it sounds like, really kind of getting the messaging out there, really reaching out to your audience as well. And kind of building on that on the client acquisition side, would love for you to share with the listeners what's been working well there. What are some of the main strategies, whether it is like paid ads, social, the funnel? What's like the primary way that you're generating leads right now for your business?
Yeah, so for organic, I used to do only organic outreach through my Instagram, and I love that platform because it let me express myself creatively as well. So I've been sharing like through reels, through stories and whatnot. But also you can get a burnout there because you have to be present all the time. That's why
Yeah.
I started to invest in ads as well this year. And also Pinterest been doing so great for me. I've always ignored Pinterest. I didn't think about this being a platform for me, but I
Yeah.
started to run ads on Pinterest to help women identify the archetypes. Are they more in the alpha energy? Are they more in the lover energy, queen energy? Help them identify what it is. And then get
Yeah.
people through the funnel through the email sequence
Yeah.
of promoting my programs. Again, they can enter my world at the $33 and they then ascend into the program, which is like $500, then ascend into the program of $2,000. So
Yeah.
this way, then
Yeah.
I've never done really cold outreach. It has never been my thing because as a feminine energy coach, I love to magnetize people into my world organically on Instagram, and then more Facebook ads and Pinterest ads on those platforms. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, really just to focus on that consistency,
Yes.
predictability when it comes to lead gen,
Yes.
right? Especially because with your offer as well, from what it sounds like, it is very like psychographic as well. Like having a clear call to action would work essentially very well on the ad side of things. So really cool to see that you're focused on building a lot of that on the outreach side. And I'm sure that is very useful for some of the listeners tuning in who are also having similar offers, and they can hear from you that ads have been working very well and take some of that advice. Now, on the sales side of things, I'd love to hear a little bit about what that process looks like. Let's say if a lead does come in, whether it is through the funnel or they maybe come in through organic, how are you actually having those sales conversations? Do you have a sales team in place handling certain components, or are you doing the sales calls on your own? Is it just Elena having the sales calls? How is all of that structured in your business?
Yeah, for now, I'm only doing sales calls myself. So I have on my website, you can book a discovery call with me, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, where I get connected with a person and just share about what they're going through, where they are right now, what do they want to be, and how I can help them close that gap. So for now, I just feel energetically, I cannot outsource it to someone else. I'm not yet there in the business where I attract that many clients through this funnel that I cannot manage my own sales call. I love having those sales calls because I get to know a person, not just to convince them to work with me. Don't do that anymore. Like I know my worth. It's just as important for that person to know that they want to work with me. They need it more than I need them. So when I switch that, it's very hard for me for now to outsource it to have someone else to take those calls because they have to feel my energy, they have to feel my voice, they have to look into my eyes and know if that I'm the right coach for them. So right now, when it comes to private coaching, right, this is the one-on-one, I'm taking all the sales call. For other things through my funnels, I have a lot of programs right now, which again, like this past year, I started to create that are self-paced because I know exactly what a woman needs when she's experiencing what I've just experienced, and whether it's going through a breakup, whether it's going through a career shift, whether that she just wants to, I have this, who am I becoming? This identity shift. I want to become her. I want to become my highest version of me. I have self-paced programs that women can take on their own. And then if they need an additional one-on-one with me, whether it's an energy healing session, whether it's a gene keys reading, whether it's like a breakthrough, then they book a one-on-one for me. So what I've created is that my funnel and my self-paced program, where there are hours and hours of my guided meditation, embodiment practices, masterclasses, when I share stuff from my heart, from my embodiment, from my whole being, it does all the sales. You know what I mean? Like it does it on its own because they know when they hear my voice and when they listen to what I'm sharing and when they get in transformation just from one my masterclass, they know that they want to work with me. And of course, then it comes down to, is it the right thing for them at that point in time in terms of money, resources, time, all of it. But the funnel itself does the work.
Yeah, so it's very, from what it sounds like, product-led growth, essentially, where a lot of that messaging, a lot of that awareness and education that you're really showing through the funnel right now, that's doing a lot of the heavy lifting on the sales side. Your growth has been incredible from what it sounds like. You're optimizing, you're dialing in some systems in place. One thing we like to talk a lot about is bottlenecks that show up or challenges when it comes to scaling and growing. What does that look like for you as like an entrepreneur? Is it like attracting like the right types of leads, improving conversions on the sales side, refining maybe some things on the funnel optimization, and what are you most focused on solving to keep all the momentum going as you head into this year and set up the runway?
Yeah, it's a great question. So somebody reached out to me on LinkedIn actually recently to say if I want to create a certification, recreate who I am, like
Yeah.
teach other people to do this work. And I started to actually think about it because I haven't thought about that before. I thought about it, but I didn't think that I was ready yet because I was like, I'm the main coach. I'm the main person who's doing the work. When
Right.
it comes to actually healing, energy work, all of that. So I started to think if I were to create a certification program where I can teach other coaches, other healers to do what I do, that would really scale my business, and not just my business. Again, this is not for personal satisfaction anymore. Like I surrender to
Yeah.
at this point
Yeah.
where I want to share the message and I want to help more women to get there, right? So for me, it's been because it's so nuanced and it's so new to who I am, like this whole energy work, like a lot of people just think that like it's a woo, like it's not tangible. I think the most important is to get people in the door to believe that this work is actually the most amazing and the most powerful work. When
Yeah.
everybody in the world playing checkers, you're playing chess. When
Right.
you know your energy and when you own this within you, you become so powerful. So it's not just some woo stuff. It's actually spirituality meets science. So the number one thing what has always been for me to get people in a door, just that first step. Once they get into the door, they want to stay. They want to take other programs. They want to book me one-on-one. They want more of that. But
Yeah.
initially to convince people that this is what they want and need. Everybody needs it, but not everybody wants it because you have to do inner work to
Yeah.
reprogram yourself to get there. So my challenge has been over this past 5-6 years is just to have women understand that this is the most profound, important work they'll ever do in their lifetime.
Yeah.
So it's that marketing. I'm always playing and massaging the words that I use constantly. Even in ads, what do you say? What's your hook? What's your second sentence? What kind of image you have?
Yeah.
Playing around with the visuals, with the caption, with the hook, with an offer. That's been like, I'm having fun doing all of this. I'm just playing around with what really works. This is it. This is what really resonates with women, whatever they're going through right now. So yeah, it's always like the attracting the cold traffic, convincing them that this is what they need, and then from that on, they're in my space and they grow with me together. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like as a founder, oftentimes we talk about operationally working on the business and then in the business as well? How are you navigating through that? Do you feel like this is like an area where you might need some new ideas on how you can start to strategically and tactically optimize the funnel so that you can focus a little bit more on the business? Like, what's your thought process there? I'd love to hear a little bit more on that.
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think for everybody, it will work individually because there's some people we just build up differently. And it also relates to astrology, human design, gene keys of how we are inside of ourselves. Like I'm a Libra in my astrology, so I love to balance everything. Like for me, the balance and harmony is number one, like value throughout my life, my work, everywhere. So I love to balance my days and my weeks. I have certain days that I do a lot of like coaching, energy healing, and my energy is set up in a way where I heal and give to others, right? This is where I am in the business, because this is the business of coaching and healing. Then I have days, and I also tied it to astrology. Like, for example, I love Tuesdays, this is the day of the Mars, where I'm very much in my masculine mode when I'm working on my business. This is where I'm on LinkedIn. This is where I'm on social media. This is when I'm content. And I love how it works for me because it gets me to be between like the balance between the two, the masculine and the feminine, or in your words, working in a business because my business is the healing and energetics, and then working on a business when I'm building the structure for the flow to flow through. So it's the balance that I found is that certain days I don't book any calls with clients. I'm only working on the strategy and on a business, and certain days that I'm working in a business when I'm with other people.
Very cool. Now, one last question as we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
What are some of your top goals going into 2025? Do you have any performance milestones, any revenue targets you're looking to hit? Would love to hear a little bit about where you're heading going into the latter half of this year.
Yeah, for me, like coming from Wall Street, and because I worked in strategy for so many years and managed like billions of dollars in budget, like it's always been, I've been so structured in a way that like I have these goal plans and I have like these matrix and numbers. When I switched to feminine energetics and this work that I'm doing now, I'm trying not to put myself in a work of, oh, I have to make $20,000 this month. I have to hit the six figures. I understand that the work that I'm doing right now has a compound effect.
Yeah.
So even if the certain month I didn't make it to like 20K month, but then I know I can catch up in the following month. I know that the flow of my business goes as long as I stay in alignment with me, with my soul, with my essence, and I'm in integrity of what I teach and what I show and what I share with the world in my programs, in my coaching. I always feel that I'm being provided for and everything flows so smoothly. I try to stay away from the matrix when it comes to the numbers. But I am scaling my business, and my goal is to get to have a 7-figure coaching business, spiritual business. I really feel it's a mission of a lifetime, because a lot of spiritual people, we think that the money and spirituality don't go together. And I was definitely in that, and I needed to do a lot of healing on myself, on my reprogramming my subconscious mind to know that we can be spiritual, we can be conscious, and we can be making incredible money. So my goal is to have a 7-figure business. I don't know if it's going to be this year or following year, but this is what I'm striving to.
I love that. I love that. I feel like with all of the things you have in place, you're looking at new ideas as well and evolving a lot of things on the offer productization side. You're well on your way. And I'm excited to see how the certification program pans out going into next year. On that note, that wraps up an inspiring episode of Founders Future. Elena, thank you so much for joining us today, sharing a little bit about the ups and woes of being an entrepreneur and kind of what you're doing there. I'm excited to follow your journey, like I said, and going into this year, hopefully we'll be able to see a lot of things pan out as you launch your certification and focus on scaling on the coaching side of things. So to our listeners, if you would like to get in touch with Elena and learn a little bit more about Elena Visionary, you can reach out to her on LinkedIn. We'll link her profile in the summary below. And if you are interested in finding out a little bit more about what we do here at Closers, we do have some more resources and insights at closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses scale through world-class marketing and sales systems and trained appointment setters. So until then, everyone, keep climbing, and we'll see you all on the next one.